Hello, it's Guido coming at you with the Tactics Talk. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of World of Tanks. We have the T-34-3 Chinese Premium. It's like a bad Type 59. Why do the Chinese have two premiums that are like the same tank? One has a big gun, one has a small gun. Isn't that kind of strange, actually? I never really thought about it. I don't know. It's weird. Well, you guys have a think on that. Maybe you can come up with an answer and let me know down in the comments. This is Bitwise from Clan GFLC. Sent me this replay with this T-34-3. He's on some map I don't remember called something. Abbey? Yes, I got it. Called Abbey, spawned into the north, and headed down to the south. This is going to be a bit of a heartbreaker, guys. This is a pretty good game that goes a bit south at the end. We're going to talk about it as we go. There's an interesting thing that happens towards the end, and I really want to key in a little bit on late game decision making, and we'll talk about those things, because late game is where you take the close ones, you turn them into wins. All right, this is a perfect example of a game that changes you from a 54% player to a 55% player. Right? In 100 battles, you get one more battle, and you turn that battle into a win, because you're the guy at the end of the game making it happen, and you go from 50 to 51, from 51 to 52, from 52 to 53, and you do that regularly over each 100 battles. You get that one extra game, and you've increased your win rate by a percentage. You get 5 extra games, you've added 5%. That is the sliver of difference between a 55, 58, 60% player and somebody less. It's games like this that you turn into wins. Some people will say, all right, you can win, you will automatically win 40% of games because bots basically sit around 40. You will automatically win 40%. You will automatically lose 40%. And the 20% in between are the games that you have control over, that your skill matters. I tend to disagree with that a little bit, but I understand the sentiment. However, it is very true that these games that are this close, these are the kinds of games that if you can regularly, consistently turn them into wins, say you get 6 out of 10 of these or 8 out of 10 of these, you're going to increase your win rate. These are those games. All right, positioning is important. He's straight up into the middle. The WZ went first, looking to take the middle Abbey portion here. I don't make this move very much because you get trapped in here. And it feels like it's one of the forward passive positions in this game, meaning that once you get there, you're really relying on your team to create the opportunities. It's very difficult to create opportunities from here unless people push in and attack you like this FV4202 does. So we'll talk a little bit more about that as we go. I think as we come in here, and you're going to stop, I would not have stopped right there. I would have kept going, because what I want to do is I do not want to be, so I get control back, I do not want to be sitting in this open area because of their artillery back here. I would like to be here where this building is, covered up from their artillery and any sniper shots that may be coming in from this way, or potentially if one of their fast mediums gets over here into this opening. I really want to make myself a little less available to their shots. But what we're going to do here is we're going to stop and wait for the reload. So I just think you really needed to keep moving, turn your front armor to them, and then let them have it right there. But you got it done. So good deal. The WZ takes a big hit. More than likely one of the TDs in the sniper TD spot up there whacked him. So Bitwise is going to come over here. He's already got a kill. That's nice. 347, 155 assists. Good start. Going to knock some trees down, and we're going to go into this little corner. And I get hit by this spot a lot. It is pretty good because once you get guys pushing in like the 50 TP and the super pushing are, as they start to go down this road, and especially when they get up here to about C8 or so, you're going to have shots on their back. You don't have very many good shots where they're hanging out here, but eventually once they pass, and it's going to be up in this area right here, you're going to start having shots on the back of the tanks. But remember, what I talked about is from an initial positioning standpoint, this is what you're relying on. They have to push past for you to get any shots, or come up onto the ridge right there where the buildings are, which they can do because there's a ramp there. So we're just going to kind of hang out here. We've got a KV4 coming. The WZ has shots. In fact, I would have been there, to be quite honest, looking for that shot first, bitwise, as opposed to sitting here and waiting for these guys to come in. Now, the good news is that the enemy team is going to give you some opportunities here. So we see the 50 TPPR and we thump him. Nope, that actually missed. And here's what I don't understand. You're going to shoot and then back up. Every single time you're going to shoot and back up. It seems reflexive, and you're not really going to get spotted right here. So I would have just sat there and aimed in, searched for my shot, and maybe even pushed forward a little bit, kind of what the Sioux right there is doing, to get some nice shots. Just like this. There's no sense doing anything. All right, there we go. We're not getting spotted. Just sit there. We kind of shift around. I would push out and look for shots in the back of the KV4. All right, so this is important because what happens here is you kind of sit there hugging this wall. I'm really not sure what you're worried about because none of them are seeing you. And your reload was getting towards the end, and now we're reloaded, but we have to wait for the zoom in. We could have been completely zoomed in, ready to shoot as soon as the reload happens. And it's a small thing, but the faster I get one shot out, the faster I can get the next shot out, if that makes any sense. All right, so I can actually get more shots downrange in the same given amount of time. That's fantastic. Again, don't know why we're backing up. In fact, I would push forward and look for shots into the back of the super Pershing. We're just sort of, I don't know what's going on. And now we finally start looking, and we're reloaded, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. You would have got the kill on that super if you'd have just moved forward and looked for that shot. So we're trying to figure that out. Down he goes. The WZ gets him out. And now we're just sort of, we shoot and we hide. Again, not really sure why we're doing that. You can get spotted right there. It is possible, but you weren't. So you did that a couple times. We're getting spotted. It was very unlikely that they were going to get you. All right, here's another one right here. You see this guy. We're making a move to get closer. I certainly would not stop. I agree with you there because there's too many shots coming from up there or maybe from the TDs or the Arty. But I'd have just gone ahead and put my pepper on him and fired, or even right-click and auto-aim. But we let that shot go. Maybe we're a little bit late recognizing it right there. So you got to be prepared for that stuff. You saw him on the minimap. You reacted. That was fantastic. But look for those shots as you come in. You may have already put the damage on them. And you may have not. So what's interesting about stuff like that is you wouldn't have had to have that last shot because more than likely those guys would have killed them. And as a matter of fact, you may have saved somebody from taking a shot because you already put the damage on them earlier with the snapshot. All right, see how that works? A lot of people go, well, I'm going to hold for a better shot, but you're headed from one piece of cover or one area of the map to the other. You have no intention of stopping anyway, and by the time you get close to him, you're going to be reloaded. Just take that shot on the fly and keep moving. So now we have a decision, right? We went to the middle, did an okay job getting some damage. We're up to 1,400 damage. So the enemy team did something that helped us right there. Used that spot. Again, like I said, it's a passive forward spot. The only way it's really any good is what happened. You had a couple guys try to get in the middle that you were able to work over with your larger numbers. You had a couple shots on the back of tanks who went by, which is why I don't really go down the 8 line right there when the enemy owns that position. And if I do, I get around the corner quickly. But they've run into the situation that I often run into when I'm thinking that way. They've got a bunch of guys sitting there on the corner, your Centurion, your Tiger II, etc., and it becomes a bit of a pincer move. But your decision right now is, where do I go? Do I go help the guys over on the west side? Do I go over and help the guys on the east side? Or do I mess around in the middle? So let's watch what you do. I'm going to kind of wander off this way. You've got to make a decision here. And this is what the mid-game to late-game decision-making, this is why it's so important in this game. And this is why at this part of the game you start to make the moves that influence a close game. Okay, if it was a Rompel stomp, say you had already lost another 5, 6, 7 tanks, really you're just going to go to a defensive position or try to go get the hit points, and you might actually pick the weak side to do so. But in a case like this where you're winning and what you do is going to have a large part in determining whether you keep winning, you have to decide which side you're going to, and you have to do that quickly, and you have to do it with purpose. Okay, I think maybe going right is not a great idea right now, going over to the east side, because if you notice, there's a Sioux couple TDs right here, and they could be, and there's nobody really keeping an eye on them. Maybe your Su-130 could be putting eyes on, but they might be up and around these buildings. And if you go zinging across this open space, you may take some hits, which means you're either going to take a long drive all the way around through the back of the cap, or potentially you're going to go up there and help these guys. So we're going to see what happens here. It looks like we've decided to go over to the west. So we'll come up this hill. The IS-6 dies. That's looking good. We're up 5-3. We've got a Carnarvon over there and an Oho. We turn around and then we see the T-92 and we think about shooting this guy, but nothing good is happening over on the other side because you just lost on the west side of the map. So I see you pushing in, and I was already, when I was watching this the first time, I said, oh my gosh, do not do this, do not push in. It takes you a little while to realize it, and then I think you make the right decision in turning around. And all of a sudden the enemy team has done a lot of work to even this thing up to 6-6. So you went from a good situation to bad. It's the 3 artillery that's the wild card. Without the 3 artillery, the setup that you had was looking really good, but more than likely the wild card of the artillery spoke a few times in there, whittled some guys down. So I think this is a good idea to hold this right now, which makes me think maybe headed over to the east side would have been a better idea to help these guys clean it up. See, that's where your power is, and you're over here hanging out on the west side, and you have to ask yourself, all right, am I being reactive or proactive right now? I feel like you're being very reactive right now. You headed that way, and then they lost, and you made the right decision to pull back. But do you really need to hang out right here? Let's see what happens. They find the Charioteer, the WZ zinging through the middle for whatever reason. It's looking pretty good, right? Oop, yeah, there goes an artillery taking down the ISM. The Su-130 has obviously pulled back. Here comes the Mod 1. And now we're fighting in all kinds of different directions. We're fighting in all kinds of different directions right here. So we find the Mod 1. Do a nice job just kind of auto-aiming him. We're going to come around here and yep, nicely done. Drop a cool 423. Nice high roll. This is a 390 alpha gun on this, guys. It's a 122 on a medium. The old Russian 122 Derpatronic 5000, and we've lost a couple of guys. We lost a Pantera, we lost a WZ. They know you're here. There's not a lot you can do. This is a really nice job just taking a little snipe off the turret top right there, and we drop another cool 391 on this guy. And the ISU is there staring at you, so we've got to be careful. You also need to worry about their artillery blapping you. So the Mod 1 is, I'm not really sure what his plan right here is. He comes around sort of looking at you. The ISU doesn't make a move. You do have artillery backing you up. We thump him for another 428, so you're getting some good rolls. He gets a shot on you, ammo racks you. You see that, that's very good, and it's fixed. And then the artillery goes thump thump, and you got rid of the ISU and the Mod 1, and that's fantastic. And now we got to worry about the defender. Where is he? Did he go back, or was he coming forward? I'm surprised he didn't show up before now. I'm wondering if he just sort of sat there or what the heck was going on. But here he comes, and this is kind of problematic. We have a defender, and oh, well, that really helps, doesn't it? We have a defender against an IS-3. This really should be a no-brainer. This defender should eat this tank alive, but he plays this poorly. He comes out with his side, and he eats one shot in the side and then bounces. So that's a bit of a bummer for him, and now you've got him kind of cornered. Your Su-130 is trying to get rid of their 130, and this is very interesting here. This 130 of theirs is going to be the thorn in your side, which is why I'm thinking it would have been a much better idea to head over to that side and add yourself to your strength. Don't worry about these 3 coming in. They may jump up on cap, but the artillery can handle them hanging out on the cap in the open. All right, you did a nice job. We're at 3,121. We got some more assists. That's really nice. But we're sort of split up, and unfortunately, we don't have enough of our power in one place. The Lorraine is raging around out in the open. Charioteer takes down your 130. This was the fantastic shot, by the way. I fully endorse this. You're trying to get him to do something. He's not really sure what he wants to do, and you just drop a dime on it. Unfortunately, he already thumps you. You're trying to get away from him, and he finally gets that shot in, and we don't have the repair kit because it would have been really nice to be able to repair and go right after him right here. So we're trying to fix this thing, and we get moving. Defender's rolling around. And now it's looking kind of grim. This is not great, right? We got the Defender, the 130, the Lorraine. It's just you, tank-wise, and a bunch of arty, and he just makes a really bad mistake. You get stunned by your own arty. That hurts. And then something extremely bad happens here pretty quickly. We're trying to figure out how to handle this at 1:30 p.m. We back up and 315. I think I would have just tried that shot, just a little prayer shot, lead him a little bit and just shoot. Yeah, there you go. So we get that. All right, so now we've got 17 hit points. And this really is the crucial place right here. The 40-43 is in the corner. Their Su-130 pushes in. Your Lorraine's in the middle. You have some pretty good position as far as tanks go. You just don't have really great tanks for that position. You're not a great sniper. They're arty, so they're going to have to do the shotgun thing. But this isn't a bad initial move. I would have tried to not run into the defender. If the arty was looking, he may have seen that move. Gives him a little clue that you're kind of going that way. So we come around here and we go, all right, where is this 130? Now, there's 3 of you on this side of the map. Your priority needs to be to get rid of this Su-130, because he's gonna have a pretty good chance of taking out your arty, based on he has a semi-turret. He's much more maneuverable. He reloads much faster, hits really hard. He's going to pretty much one-shot both of these artillery here. So the priority should be taking this guy down. Remember, go strength to strength. And I think it goes all the way back to the initial positioning discussion that I had. You're being a little bit more reactive vice proactive in this game. Take your strength and try to put it on their strength. Sometimes the asymmetric thing works, but I think from a percentages standpoint, it's strength on strength in this game is what works. Now, okay, your artillery's doing a great job, man. They've got him lit. They know where he is. They're closing in. I saw this part of the replay, and I said, all right, we got it. We know what we're going to do. So let's see what happens here. We stare at him. We sit here. We're staring at him. He goes away. Your artillery's making a move. We zoom out. I guess we're thinking we got our repair kit back, and we go this. Oh, oh man. Oh man. All right, so you had to take him out, right? You're basically allowing him to take out your artillery, or hoping that somehow artillery can shotgun him, and you're trading that strength on strength for a long drive to look for his artillery. That is 100. This is 100% the wrong decision. So what you wanted to do was come off of this hill, come around the ramp, come around this corner, take a little peek, see if you can't sneak a shot, and then once your guys start closing in, if he's still around here, move in, and now you've got him pinched. Now arty may get one of you, all right? He may get one of you. Arty may get one of your arty, but you get rid of him. And I think more than likely, if you're lucky, you can all 3 survive. If you're super unlucky, only one of you survives. But I think the odds are at least 2 of you will survive that thing. And now you've got 2 arty versus their 1. But as you're going here, this just does not work. All right, this just does not work. So the poor 40-43's made his move. I think he probably thought you might have been coming off the hill and helping him out, but he doesn't have anything to work with. The Lorraine attempts to do something. You're going to come around here and hope there's a shot, but there's too many buildings in the way. So the Lorraine's trying to do what he can do. And now he's dead, broken out. And we've gone from a really good situation, or a pretty good situation, a very winnable game, to now we're on our back heel. All right? And so it's the decision making in the middle to late game that causes us to lose these close ones like this. And, you know, I hate to do it to you, but I'm going to hang this one exactly around you. All right, this hat is fitting your cranium right here. Definitely should have helped them get rid of the Su-130 PM, especially with him out in the open. Now, this changes if he turtles up and gets into a bush. You may have to be a little bit more clever, move around, be more careful, but your artillery had this guy spotted. They knew where he was. He wasn't getting away, and had you gone in there and helped them out, I think you come away with 2 of you alive at least. That would be my odds-on favorite. So what happens is we're going to go up here, we zing around, we're looking for their artillery. And you'll have to let us know some of your thought process down in the, I'm going to turn back around here, down in the comments. We take this very circuitous route, and then somebody gets on cap, and I'm thinking, well, their arty's not there, so my guess is it's the arty. So here's the Here's the discussion. You have a 600, something like that, hit point Su-130, soft tank. You have a 400 something hit point 43. If you meet both of them, you've got to kill one immediately to have any kind of chance, and you're probably still going to be in trouble. The trick here is going to be able to find is if you're going to be able to find one of them alone and then avoid any kind of shot coming back from the other one. So do you go with HE or not? I think I would have probably gone to HE, thinking that was about my best chance right here. You don't, and let's watch what happens. All right, so we're going to come down here. We're going to come around this corner, and we see the Artie. And we get a high roll. It's a 390 alpha. We get at least 400. Who knows what the roll actually was, and it takes him out. Let's talk about the way you came around the corner. I would not have come zinging around the corner that fast. I would have slowed down about at this position here. I'd have zoomed in and then creeped around the corner, seeing if I can find somebody. As it was, you came zinging around the corner, saw him and stopped. But if the Su-130 was looking that way, he was going to have a really sweet shot, or the artillery potentially. So we get a little bit of luck, and that swings our way. That's fantastic. RNG helped us out. We have 4,000 damage, 566, and 4 kills. Let's see how the rest of this thing goes. Obviously, the Su knows where we are. He also knows he can take a hit from you. He also knows that he can probably take an HE hit, even a pen, potentially. So I am imagining he's going to be quite offensive, trying to take you out and win the game. I would be. So that's the mindset you have to have, is that, all right, I know this guy's coming after me, so where do I go that I can defend myself a little bit and maybe get a couple of shots, maybe get a cheeky early shot? And this is definitely that spot. I like this spot for that. We'll come around here and see if he was somehow watching the middle, and I'm sure he was. He was either up on that sniper spot up there or in the north part of the Abbey, in the buildings right there potentially. Probably bushed up somewhere. So we go around, we start looking around. Where is he? And we find him. Man, I think I would have gone for that shot right there a little bit more. There we go. All right, so we get him spotted. He's at 700, so it's even worse. I think I said 500 or 600. So that is definitely 2 shots. So we're gonna wait. So now we've gone to HE. I don't know, man. I think at this point it's a 2-shot situation either way. I might go with AP on this one. Let's just see let's just see how it goes. The nice thing about the HE is you can potentially take out modules a little easier, and crew members. Killing the guy's reloader or loader would be a really good thing, because you want to try to get inside his reload. I'm imagining you're actually a little bit longer reload, or at least the same as him. So we do this. All right, there we go. We got a little proxy light as he's coming around the corner. We're going to turn around. We've got our HE. We're waiting for him to come. This is going to be fantastic. And I agree with this. Now, here's the thing about that particular move. I would have been as far back as I could be and still have the gun on him. All right, and we dropped, what did we get? 315. So really, the HE let us down. We got into his track, didn't it? I mean, it totally let us down. 530 damage. I would have got 390. This would have been a really bad low roll on an AP round. And it just ends up giving me 350. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong one. I'm dopey. 249. So it's even worse than I thought. It's even worse than I thought. You got 249. Probably got into its tracks right there. All right. So I would have been further back so that as soon as I shot, I could back off those rocks. And we get a little bit lucky here. Holy cow. Look at that. All right. What do we do with that luck? It looks like he thinks he might be able to get you on a ram kill. And I believe if he had any kind of speed, he could probably get to you. So he's smart. He's going to come straight at you. And I think you realize that, and you come off the rock. So we're going to come off the rock. And as he comes, and then we're going to auto aim him. And as soon as I saw you do this, I was screaming no. Right? There's a couple times in this particular replay, I'm like, no, no, do not. And I was worried. I actually didn't see what the result of the game was. I was worried that what happened was going to happen. I really was. It's my luck, and this happens face to face on auto aim. It goes after center of mass so much, and it broke my heart, because this guy comes in, gets a little bit of damage, and we fire, but it's not enough, and it looks like you hit his track, or you hit his gun, right? And then he's going to reload, and boom, we end up going down and losing the game. And that was just Heartbreaking. I mean, it really was. Let's just back this up here a little bit and make sure we got this down, what happened. But it looks like I said, it looks like you got into his gun or gun mantlet. So we blap him. Unfortunately, it only does 249. Oh my gosh. And then we think, well, we probably got a good chance at doing this. We have that nice big HE round. We auto aim. We're going in for the shot. Here he comes. He's trying to go for a ram. He's got 465. He's coming at us. Come at me, bro. Oh, man. He hits us. He takes 49 from the ram. He's got 400 hit points. Oh, doggone it. 230. 230. Oh, my goodness gracious. So 249 for the first one, AG. 230 for the second one. I think 390 and 390 makes this guy go away, right? 390 and 390 makes this guy go away. Just a heartbreaker right there. I like the idea of it. You know, you're like, well, HE, I can get that big damage. I know he's got a lot of hit points. I really need to whittle him down. For me, the sure thing of the AP is the way to go. It really is. And I've done this exact same thing, but the more I play, the less I trust HE in situations like this, and I'll just go for it. You know, all right. Sometimes you load that HE, and he comes at you with 500 hit points, and you nuke him, right? I just find this situation to be much more common with HE. Just a total failure to get that one pen that you needed or hit him in the right place to get that big damage shot, and he ends up killing you. He's got 186 hit points here, and we back up and die. Boom. 4,539 damage, 566 assist. We had 4 kills in our T-34-3. Well played. The sequence against the defender was near perfect. It's too bad you took that last hit. There was a couple things I talked about we could have done, but that was really well done. You just brutalized that defender right there. So backing it up to the initial move, I don't particularly like that one. I'd have gone either east or west, probably west, and helped those guys down there. I think if your gun was over on the west side, you would have probably won that side, to be quite honest. The middle, to me, just doesn't matter that much. As long as they don't completely control it and you're pushing around and giving them shots in the side here, or doing what the red team did, getting shots in the back. That's just me. So I think a more proactive position is the east or west side. A more reactive position, relying on your team, is the middle. Then once you left there, pretty good decision making on the defender. I would have tried to get over to the other side and put strength to strength. Once that didn't happen, really nice sequence, like I said, with the defender. After the defender, then just the single biggest mistake was not going after that Su-130 and getting rid of him when you still had some allies on the map. And then the end game mechanical stuff we talked about, another opportunity right there. So really, you look at it, you actually had multiple places in this match where doing something just a little bit differently would have increased. I'm not saying 100% would have won, but would have increased, would have been a higher percentage play and increased your odds of actually winning. Your probability, if you will. All right. Thanks for sending that in. I think that was probably a good discussion right there I'll just pat myself on the back, right? That's a good discussion. It's a good example. Let's put it that way. You all can determine whether it was a good discussion. Let me know if it was a good discussion. But it was a good opportunity and a good replay to illustrate those mid to late game decisions that are the 100% difference between a 50% and a 55-60% player. 55 and 60% players, good players, they win more of these. These are the games. These are the kinds of games that make the difference between being 45 and 65%, almost completely. There's an argument to be made that if you're good enough, you can start steamrolls happening early. That's a little bit more nuanced discussion. All right, so more than likely a 60% player is helping cause more steamrolls. So it's not just purely these kinds of games, but these are the ones that are coin flips. They're up in the air. And the better you are, the more of these you pull down on your side, the higher your stats are going to be. All right, man. Thanks for sending that in, Bitwise. I do appreciate it. Thanks for everybody coming by. Appreciate your support of the channel, and we will see ya.